If you still want me, it's been 3 long years since I've been away. So tie a yellow ribbon round the old oak tree. Hello boys and girls. Yes, it's me, the singing talent of Scruff. And we're going to do a coffee with Scruff today. But this time, it's as suggested by you guys. Roll the intro and let's have a little chat about direction. And a warm welcome, one and all. If you haven't been here before, these are really my thoughts across the week. And what I've started to do is ask a couple of questions. What do you want? Put it into a poll, and then that poll becomes this coffee with Scruff. And this week, from the questions that came in, here it is. So it's what's the importance of direction? Right, it's not a be-all and end-all answer, because direction to one is something different to somebody else. And I've also been requested to see how we're getting on with the house recently and what my setup is, because we pretty much finished. So what we'll do, we'll go down into the kitchen and I'll kind of talk as I'm walking through the house, and you can see what it is, but I'll use the house as a metaphor for direction. So, but before we do that, I'll give you a quick flash of what my office is. As you can kind of see, I've got quite a bit of space up here. I've got all my toys. I love my toys. But I've also got the whiteboard up here. Now, the whiteboard is quite important for me because that's where I do a lot of trading. I put my notes on, but I also do whiteboards for you guys. So it's done here. Nice space, but I love it here. Why? Because I've got all my toys. I love my Star Wars toys and the artwork the kids have bought me. And every single piece of sort of memorabilia that is sent to me, I keep. You know, Martin sent me this. You know, my very own Princess Leia. And I hope you're doing well, Martin. I really do. I'll catch up with you as soon as I can. We've also got the resident redneck. You know, oh, dear me, redneck. Little salute to you, my friend. Sent me that. That is amazing. That really is amazing. Obviously, we've got Princess Leia. You've got to have Princess Leia. But over this side, this is like the business end. So you look at sort of Joanne's section. Yes, we have artwork. And I need to get some more up on there. And what does she have next to her? Well, you shocker. Suitcase. Why? Because we go on all day long. I'm going to touch on that as well. But then we have my side. Now, my side is quite simple. And it's why I was sort of discussing and singing Tie a Yellow Ribbon, because that's what I was listening to. You know, Tony Orlando, Tie a Yellow Ribbon. There's a blast from the past. I need that. And I'll touch on that as well. Then I've got my screen that I record and show you guys. And then I've got another screen that I taught the guys on. And then I've got another little one down here that I can keep an eye on current events. When I'm trading, that YouTube channel is put down into the bottom left, and I trade off that top channel. Why? Because it's comfortable and I can see what I'm doing. So that's my office, and this was built on top of the house. It's a big loft conversion. I mean, and then we put this wall in, and well, I'll kind of show you, it's like a junk cupboard, but it was making good from bad. Let me kind of show you this. So when we put the wall up, we didn't have any storage, so we made some. And we made this in here. How good's that? Doesn't look much, but I can store loads in here. And I know what you're asking. You're going, what's they bloody trapping on about bloody lofts? We want to know direction. Well, it's all in the planning. We use the space effectively. Now this is the top section of the house. And one of the parts that we were doing here is we wanted to get the dirty jobs out the way first. So we did the fire downstairs, knowing that we were going to break into this room because I had to put a new chimney stack in. And then we made the office, and then we took the dirt out. Top-down approach. So let's go get a coffee, and I'll kind of quickly show you this, and then I'll sit down, I'll kind of talk to you about what direction is. So we'll come down the staircase. So it's a big old thing. Come down into the love room, because I think Winky's gone out actually. This was a complete wreck, but it's all nice now. It's actually one of my favourite rooms in the house, because I sit here and I'm going to get a chair made here, because over there, not sure whether you can see it, there's a house, but then where I'm pointing, after that house there's nothing. It's just fields, sheep, horses, all that. Come down here, made this nice gantry, come down into the bathroom. This all got changed, because this was a horrible, horrible galley. All done, you know, nice shower, toilet, etc. And there'll be relevance as to why I'm showing you this. Come through. Now, in here, this is where guest room, nice guest room. That door never used to exist. That was actually part of the bathroom, because the bathroom was like a funny shape. So we walled part of the bathroom off, made a cupboard and put the boiler in there. Nice and simple. Okay, bear with me, go downstairs. Now you have to bear the camera a little bit, because it does go light and dark, because it's set on automatic. I'm not a photographer, boys and girls, as you might have guessed. We came down here. This hall was horrid. Not anymore. It's all nice and airy, and nice entrance to the house. Come through. This is where we're going to come into this living room. Now the living room, that was like an old gas fire. That was the start. Now remember that focal point, okay? Obviously get me Star Wars on there. Got to get Star Wars on there, boys and girls. Right, so we'll come through here, and then we work our way into the dining room. Now we've got a nice big dining room. You get up here and you'll see, nice cupboard. Got a great big table here. Have some great parties in this room. Nice big and airy, as you can see. Grip big. Nice covers, got rid of all the old radiators. Joanne's got that. And then we're on the last stage of the house, making coffee. Now this kitchen was horrible. In fact, it was shocking. But not anymore. Now it's a nice, clean place to work. Changed all that, made a toilet in there, that's the next job. And across. So what's the most important thing in here? It's very simple. I mean, and even then you just go through to the back, and we had all this opened up, because there used to be a door there and a little porch. But we opened it all up and made it quite neat. No, the important bit is that kettle. And then the last part of the job, well, I've got to redo that radiator, because it's naff. But it's going to get reseated on the wall, blinds up there, that'll be done. And then in here, because this is horrid, give me a second, we'll switch the lights on. In there is going to be a little washroom. So there we go. So get in here, see if we can see that. There we go. So we've now got a little washroom, and then tomorrow I'm going to be fitting that, and that's this house complete. So let's get the coffee made, and I'll explain what that tour is all about.
Well, we're waiting.
Oh, excellent. That's the kettle boiled, brilliant, because we all know Scruffy likes a coffee, and he does, but he loves the charts, and I genuinely do love the charts. Now we've got the coffee, we can go in the front room, we'll have a chat, but the idea was to give you, how do I put this? A perspective of planning. That's what direction's all about. Now, the beginning of a lot of videos I do ramble on like this, and I do it on purpose, because there's a lot of freeloaders out there and people that will never make it in this industry. They won't get this far. They'll just go, oh, he's not showing me anything, I'm away. That's why you fail. If you have a top-down approach and you manage yourself correctly, you have a chance in this industry. If you don't, you've got zero chance. None. And I'm very brutal about that. I often tell people when they're contacting me, I can see it in the way that they message. They only want a magic pill. They're wasting that time. So I'll humour them, I'll be nice to them, but I won't spend much time with them. Somebody comes to me and they tell me who they are, what they're doing, what their expectations are, and how they're feeling or how they feel they're feeling. I can see that analysing what they're up to. I'll sit all day with them. And I do it in one-to-ones. And if you look through Trustpilot and things like that, you'll see. And if you come into the Scruffy Squad, those guys will tell you. I normally do a live stream every day. I do like sort of 30 minutes on a morning, and on a night time it's meant to be an hour. On a night time, we're still there, or I'm still there at 11 o'clock at night. We start at 8, and we just rabble on, and then I get the questions after it, and I stay and I answer them. And why? I love my job. And I really want the guys in the squad to succeed. So let's go and have a sit down and talk direction. This tie yellow ribbon round the old oak tree. It's been 3 long years. Do you still want me? So, had a bit of a sing-song. Give you a little bit of tour of the house. And the metaphor of the house is very simple. I came from the top and I went to the bottom. Now, if you look at the charts that way, you'll make your direction better. But the question was, how important is direction? Well, it really depends on what you're doing. If you're position trading or swing trading, it's absolutely crucial. You must go with the dominant direction, the trend, if you like. Now, there's the old saying, the trend is your friend. But the last part of that, people don't say. The true saying is, the trend is your friend till the bend at the end. And you take the stairs up and you take the elevator down. So you've got to be able to recognise conditions as well. But if you're only looking at one chart, how do you know what's coming? You can't. If you're driving up a motorway and you see a car in front of you and they put their brakes on and they start slowing down, doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to turn off the motorway. But at least you've had a warning that something is going to happen. That's the key word here, something. But then they put the indicator on and they turn off. But if you were just looking at the car and not looking at the lights, you wouldn't know that. You had to look at different points of the car to understand what it was getting up to. Multi-time frame analysis will do that for you. And that was the idea of running through the house from the top to the bottom. If you come into the charts and you're looking just on a 5-minute chart, what does that really tell you? It doesn't tell you anything. Take an example of that fire. If we just looked at that fire when we first came into this house, without actually going round it, we wouldn't know we had to break in and put a new chimney stack upstairs. You found that out by having a survey of the house, camera down the chimney, etc., to find out what was going on, and then you did a plan of action, top-down approach. But if we just ripped that fire out and hadn't budgeted for the new stack, etc., we'd be in sorry street. So it was all in the planning. And then the house was done the same way. We decided that we'll get this out the way first because the dirt is going to be upstairs and then that's going to be minging. In fact, I'll kind of show you what this house looked like when we first came in. Here's a quick montage. from that is this, and this has been done in the last sort of year and a bit, and we're going to enjoy it for a few months and then we're going to sell it and then buy another house. And why not? Because we're planning it. We're planning our future. So let's get back to direction. Now, direction is important in different ways. Like I said, if you're swing trading and position trading, it's absolutely crucial. You are going with the bigger trend. You have to. If you're going against it, there has to be a good reason why you're going against it. And that's where I was using the motorway and the car, where you still can't see that if you're on a singular chart, a monthly or a weekly. You can't see it. The early warnings will come down the chart. But likewise, if you're looking at the same car and they've got no brake lights on, but the indicator's on, have they just forgot to switch the indicators off? Is it really telling you the direction that car's going in? No, but you could be prepared for it. It's too narrow a picture. So it's just something to get you to think about. But let me tell you how I approach direction. I look at everything as a law of averages. Why? Because that's what trading is. It's the law of averages. And if you can get the average edge on your side, then over time you'll win. Now, there's the old argument about 2 to 1, 3 to 1. I don't subscribe to any of that. I think that's a load of bollocks. I've been in business now, coming on 25 years. And business is not done like that. There's only one industry done like that. You go into a supermarket, they're looking for 10, 20, 30% return on the investment they put in. You go to a car lot, they're looking for the same sort of figures. You know, up to 50% return on what they put in. So they'll buy a car at half price, they'll put a bit of work into it, and then they'll put it on the forecourt. You might think they're doubling their money, but they're not. There's associated costs that go along with that. So they might actually be making 30, 40%. That's not bad. Retail index is 33 and a third. It's not 133 and a third or 233 and a third. There's very few industries that are like that, certainly in the retail sector. And you are, believe it or not, in a retail sector when you're trading. You're buying and selling. That's retail. So what you want to do is you want to buy at wholesale and sell at retail. Very, very simple. Buy low, sell high. Very, very simple. Okay. Now, I work, as I've just said, on return investment. So I'll look at that and I'll look for the law of averages. And then there's the next step to the 2 to 1s, etc., where you only need to win 40% of the time and you make money. No, you won't. Because the target has to be the same. The stop has to be the same. The conditions have to be the same. And as we've just illustrated, just talking about cars on the motorway, conditions don't necessarily show you what's going on. You've got to read the picture. So for me, if you're less than 50% win rate, unless it's planned that way, I'm going to take very small hits, hit, then get a huge one. But most of you don't. You just go, it's 1 to 2% to make count, and I'll put on whatever, and I'll hold it for a gazillion, and it's 5 to 1 because I'm amazing. You're making a living from it. No, you're not. The guys who make a living look at a starting point of 1 to 1. So if I'm putting 50 on, I want 50 back. Right? They'll break it up through dollar cost averaging. So it reduces the exposure. So it's no longer 1 to 1. It's actually greater than 1 to 1. And then they'll take what they can get based on the conditions of the market. Running a business. Where's direction in that? Fucking nowhere. Because the first thing you're doing is working out a return on investment, a business plan. Your direction is just type of product or what you're going to buy. I'm going to go long today, I'm going to go short today. If you're a specialist on sort of pound JPY, well, does it really matter what direction it is? Not really. You see it every day. You know what you're doing today. I'm going to go long today, I'm going to go short today, blah, blah, blah. All these different little things. But if you're new to the chart and you've never seen it before, you haven't got that feel and you're not really knowing what to expect. So you have to look at it at a different point of view. And that's where multi-time frame analysis comes in. So if I look at a blank chart, I've never seen it before, I don't know what the expectations is, so I can kind of scrap out my return on investments, etc., and etc. It's just a blank chart. I don't know what it is. I have to analyze it, and I'll do it like this. I'll look at the big picture. So I'm looking at the weeklies and the monthlies, etc. I'm getting a big idea of what that market is trying to achieve. I'll then look at a midsection, what I call a double D. Dominant direction. Not of what they're trying to achieve over the next few months, what it's trying to do today. Now that might be against the bigger trend, right? So now when I'm looking at return on investment, I have to target appropriately. I can't run this because I'm going against it. I have to keep that investment relatively small. Okay, so the dynamics changed. So if I was 3 to 1 on a big time frame, I can't be 3 to 1 on a small time frame because there'll be a dynamic shift. And what if I lose the big one and I only win the small ones? So again, it's all about management, and you've got to keep this in mind. It's about the management. So anyway, so I'm looking at the big picture. I'm looking at the middle picture, but then I want to get in. And this is what everybody looks at. Just show me how to get in. I know how to get in. If you show me where to get in, and X marks this spot, I get in when that moving average crosses. Is that right? Because that's the direction. No, means fuck you. But I want to know what it's up to. So I'll look at a top time frame, I'll look at a middle time frame, and I'll look at a bottom time frame. Multi-time frame analysis right through. One gives me the big picture of what the market is roughly going to do. The second one tells me the direction I'm going to go into today. So I'll kind of stick with, if it's only long that I'm looking for, it says it's long and it's got no signs of slowing down, I'll only look for longs in that market. If it's against the bigger picture, because that might be short, I've automatically adjusted my target to suit. And then the lower time frames, your 15 minutes, your 5, etc. The direction on that means jack shit. 0. That's just helping me get in. So if I'm going long in the middle, for argument's sake, and the lower time frames are going short, I take 2 elements from this. It's either a change of sentiment in the market, but I'm not going to try and pick a bottom, because you pick bottoms, you get smelly fingers. I'm going to wait for it to show signs that it's going to go long. So what actually the smaller time frames have done, they're helping me time the market that little bit better, because it'll break a level, it might move to the next level, so gets in there. And then when I get to that level that I'm happy with, I could still be wrong. So what I do is I put in a dollar cost, put my teeth back in, a dollar cost averaging situation, which is what I call madness. It's basically that on a small scale. It's not Martindale. I'm accused of that all the time. No, it's not even close. It's from a banking operation. It's called dollar cost averaging from 2 fixed points based on a fixed amount of money you're willing to put into the market. So instead of putting all the money in at once, I'll dip my toe in and I'll build a position up based on the market. Now, if I get it wrong, I've reduced the exposure. But I've also got the opportunity to get out when it hits the bounce points. And that's why you've got to put your charts in correct in the first place. You can't mark a chart up correctly. You're wasting your time. And if you, for the love of God, if you sort of see videos where they're going, well, there's a lovely area here on a 15-minute chart, and I'm going to drop it down onto a 1-minute chart because there's this stupid gap or there's this liquidity sweep and everything. What a load of bollocks. Right? Absolute crap. Do you know why? Those levels hold no weight whatsoever. 0. But your high time frames do. Because who moves the market? Is it you? With your pound a point. Don't even exist. 15-minute chart traders don't even exist in the eyes of the market. The big money looks higher up the frame. But they can use your money to get their money in. And that's why you get movement down on the low time frames. And as you've got that movement down on the time frame frames, you can then apply yourself correctly. So how do you answer it? How important is direction? The answer is it's not as important as you think. If you're swing trading, it's paramount. You've got to go with the flow. Other than that, if you're day trading, you can be market neutral. You're better off having the dominant direction, and you can work that out through averages. And I do this all the time for the guys in the squad, and there's a tool that we use that if you can't visualize it, you should be able to visualize it anyway, but if you can't, it gives you a visual representation of what the market's actually doing. And not only does it tell you what the direction is, it'll actually help you time the market as well. And it's pretty darn accurate. But it's not an indicator. It's actually a tool that makes you read the chart. So you take gut feeling out of it. You trade what you see. So the market neutral side comes in. And again, if you're going with the flow, put your bigger target in. If you're going against it, you put a smaller target in. And if you're on the now situation, like the lower time frames, your 15 minutes, etc., by definition, if you're only using that, it's a scalp. Get in, get out, and you're done. And it don't matter, because you watch any chart any day over the course of 4 or 5 hours, it'll go both directions. There'll be an opportunity to get 5 or 6 pips, both directions, in those time frames. But it's safer to go with the dominant direction, because if it's going to run, it'll give you the opportunity. If you go against it and you catch it on the turn, which a lot of you do, because I do read the messages, then you're trapped and you've got a long time to wait for that retracement to come back. But that's where madness pays off, because it'll catch the turn and it'll give you an opportunity to get out. So I hope that kind of makes sense. It's a bit of a... I don't script any of these guys. I really don't. I switch the camera on and I wander around the house. I might put a few excerpts in just to make you laugh. But everything I tell you is from my experience and what I know. And then if you follow the channel, you never see me on a rollback chart, ever. I've never done a rollback chart. I'll say, right, we're starting here and away we go. And then what you see is what I see. But I'm disciplined enough to stop. In the squad, the guys will ask me to look at a chart. I'll not only look at it, I'll analyze it, I'll break it, I'll give my opinion on it, and then I'll trade it. But I'll do it, the analyzing and the opinion, before I even attempt to go to market, so that they know what I'm looking at. I'm never going to trade for anybody, but I don't mind telling you what I do and why I'm going to do it. You make your own trades. You want to follow that? Fine. You press the button, but it's on you. Everything you need is there. Hope that helps. So I'm going to enjoy my coffee, because we all know Scruffy likes it, coffee. I'm going to try and not make a mess, because Joanne's gone out, and when she comes back, if I've made a mess, there'll be hell on. She does kick off. And if you want your question or query put on, drop it in the comments on any video, or watch in the comments section of the YouTube community and Facebook, etc. And you'll see there'll be little questions saying, what do you want? And then every Monday I put it into a poll, like the top questions that come in. I think I can put about 7 or 8 different questions in the poll. And then you vote on it, and I'll give you the voice of my experience. Can't be any fairer than that, guys. And if you want to speak to me personally, I'm easy found. Just check below, you'll see all my contact details. I'll come along in the squad and I'm there face to face every day. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.